I wanted to do a short video on nitrogen fixing plants and their use in the garden or the food forest or the orchard. This is a black locust tree that is growing in my garden. I get a lot of volunteers in here and usually I just pull them out, but this one was persistent. I tried to dig it out for several years and it just kept coming back, so I left it. And you can see that it's really got a thick trunk on it. That's just a couple years growth. And as a nitrogen fixer, these plants can grow really fast. They take nitrogen from the atmosphere and put it in a form that they can use, and then they use it. And not all plants can do that. So the idea that some people have is to take nitrogen fixing trees such as this and plant one next to each fruit tree that you plant. The idea being that it will provide nitrogen for the fruit tree or the other desirable tree that you have, and there's not a lot of research to back up that that's going to happen. Yes, the nitrogen fixers overall will add more nitrogen to the system. Whether or not they will actually share it with your fruit tree is another story. Just because you plant two plants together, it doesn't mean that they're going to act exactly the way you want them to. And it's a little bit arrogant to think that they will. They might share, they might not. I think the research is very good that trees and other plants are able to share nutrients back and forth, but whether they will or not, we don't know. There are other ways that your desirable plant could use the resources from the nitrogen fixing plant. If as you cut it back, you're probably going to get, especially if you cut it back hard, you'll get root dieback. And as the roots die, they're going to leave all those good nutrients in the soil, including nitrogen, that can be used by other plants. So just as an example, when I'm in the savanna, I will cut back autumn olive, which is invasive and we really don't want it, but it's pretty common. And then if I cut it back severely and I'm getting a lot of dieback underground, then the neighboring plants like pawpaws and viburnums will be able to use what's left behind. So there's a definite benefit there, but I think we really need to get away from this idea that if I just plant these trees together, they're going to cooperate, and one is going to give the other one what it needs, and that one is going to give the other one what it needs. And it doesn't work that way. There is competition in nature. There's no point in denying that. This idea that nature is just all cooperating with each other is silly. So I don't think you should rely on that. Look at the other benefits of planting nurse trees or nitrogen fixers. Yes, there are benefits, but you need to consider, is nitrogen really your most limiting factor? Are there other easier ways to get nitrogen to your plants? So before you put a lot of energy into, planting two trees when you could just plant one, you really need to think about that.